As you already saw in the table, sine 0 degree is equal to 0 and cos 0 degree is equal to 1. So if we multiply them, it will result in, for 0 degree, it will result in 1. It will result in 0, sorry. And for, let's say, pi by 2, sine pi by 2 is equal to 1 into cos pi by 2, which is equal to 0. So it will again remain 1. So both 0 degree and pi by 2, it should remain at 1. So the only two options that match this description is option 2 and option 3. And now we have to choose in between them. So as you can see from the graph, at 45 degrees, that is pi by 4, both of the peaks touch the top. Okay, now we have to figure out if the peak will be 0.5 or the peak will be 1. Okay, so sine pi by 4 is equal to 1 by root 2 and cos pi by 2 is also equal to 1 by root 2, which is 1 by 2, which will be equal to 0.5. So at pi by 4, which is here, the peak should be 0.5. So the correct option is option 2. To further confirm, if you want to confirm more, by using pi and 3 pi by 2, you have to know two formulas, that sine pi minus theta is equal to sine theta and cos pi minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. Okay, so for example, if we check 3 pi by 2, it will be sine theta minus 3 pi by 2, which will be equal to sine, it will be minus pi by 2. The minus will come outside. Okay, this minus can be taken outside. Since we know sine pi by 2 is equal to 1, so it will be minus 1. Similarly, for cos, it will be cos theta minus 3 pi by 2, which is equal to minus cos pi by 2. It will also be minus, which is equal to, as we know that minus minus is cancelled, so it will become plus. Cos pi by 2 is 0, so it will be 0. So 1 minus 1 into 0 will also be 0. So at 3 pi by 2, the graph should be 0, and it is at 0 in the second option. For, let's say, 2 pi, sine pi minus 2 pi is equal to plus sine minus pi, and sine pi is also, if we again solve it, sine minus pi, let's say we take the minus outside, so minus, we can also write it as sine pi minus 0 degree. We can also write it as, it is also equal to sine pi, and since we know that sine pi minus theta is equal to sine theta, it will be equal to sine minus sine 0 degree. Okay, and we know that minus sine 0 degree is equal to 0, so it will be 0, and anything multiplied by 0 will also be 0. So at 0 degree, at pi by 2, at 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi, the graph should remain at 0, and at pi by 4, it should remain at 0.5. So option 2 is the correct option.